Just a heads up to you folks sitting with a notebook and pen, Mishki, the new podcast here in Garage Logic Land, is now coming out twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. If you're in fact scribbling this down, Wednesday is kind of tough to spell. It's not like it sounds. You want to spell it W-E-N-Z, but that, of course, would be a mistake. Friday is spelled just like it sounds. You're going to be okay there, but Wednesday's a bugaboo. Let me tell you, people, just a pain in the patootie. Jeez, it's hard.
J. Cole.
Kenny.
Listen to this. In 2024, Americans spent an estimated $31.4 billion on legal marijuana. Total spending on both legal and illicit sources, that's your buddy that sells weed, is significantly higher, with some estimates, it's hard to nail down, but the copy here says some estimates placing the overall market size at over 100 billion annually.
Holy, that's just the U.S. we're talking?
We love our weed. And that's what we're going to talk about today on CRABBY.
And Kenny, just to make sure, so you're talking 100 billion just U.S., right? So not even Canada, Mexico, all our friendly neighbors.
Yeah. I would hope that makes us the global leader. I mean, we got to win at something. Let's hope it's weed, huh?
Well, we can't be far behind at second place at all. If we're at 100 billion, we got to be at least top 5. I'm hoping.
You know what? Amsterdam, you can suck it. Jamaica, you're amateurs.
Get out of here.
We have a guest, Jay.
Yes, we do. Stefan Egan is his name. He's really nice to join us because we were able to reach him yesterday, and so it's kind of short notice. But Stefan's our weed guy. Any questions you want to know about weed, he'll try to answer. But I can tell you right now, after doing a couple of news stories with him at Channel 5, he can answer your questions.
Good.
Stefan is a marijuana, cannabis, however you want to phrase it, consultant nationwide. And he's one of us. He's right here in Minnesota.
Cool.
So Stefan's traveled the country, knows other states' laws and regulations, what they've done well, what they haven't done well, what Minnesota's done well, what Minnesota hasn't done well. And Stefan, plug the name of your consulting company because I had it in my notes, and as you heard, I'm dealing with some crazy stuff. They're sitting in the car. Tell them the name of let's give a little plug first for your company, your consulting business.
Well, thank you, Jay. I appreciate the introduction. So the company is Bella Blami, stands for Beautiful Flower.
Yeah.
We are a cannabis consulting firm as well as a licensed mezzo operation within the state of Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Mezzo meaning? What is that?
Mezzo is a vertically integrated license type under the Minnesota's cannabis program.
Gotcha.
Gives us 15,000 square feet of canopy, 3 retail stores, and extraction, processing, manufacturing.
Got it.
Okay. I want to give some background for listeners and viewers who might not be fully aware of what's been happening. You know, weed is legal, and that's about all you know. I want to talk about what we can do, what you can do as a Minnesotan right now. And this was established and started and went into effect on August 1st, 2023. If you're over 21, you may use, possess, or transport cannabis paraphernalia. You can possess or transport up to 2 ounces of weed in public places. And here's where it gets really interesting. You may possess up to 2 pounds of weed in a person's private residence. Now, if you think to your old days, and maybe some of you are in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, and you used to buy say, a quarter ounce or an ounce at a time, there's 16 ounces in a pound. So, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're talking a lot of weed that you can possess. And it loses me when it goes to grams. You can possess or transport up to 8 grams of adult use concentrate. And you can possess or transport edible cannabis or products, lower potency hemp edibles infused with a combined 800 milligrams or less of THC. I don't know what that means. I'm going to be honest. But I do want to read something about growing weed. If you want to grow weed in your basement, you can have up to 8 plants with no more than 4 being mature or flowering. So, and that all depends on light cycles. Flowering plants may be grown at a single residence as long as it's the primary residence and you're 21 or older, and those plants must be enclosed, locked, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of that is where we're at right now. But from what I can tell, the lawmakers have screwed up every opportunity they possibly can. In my opinion, and Stefan, you might disagree with me, I think the current laws on growing and possessing has made the black market flourish. And I don't know how any retail outlet is supposed to compete with your buddy that grows weed. Am I off base there?
Not at all. You're accurate. It's going to make retail very, very difficult at the end of the day. You know, they're going to be paying more for their products coming from the retails, exponentially more than what they are paying from their friend down the street. Sure, the quality will likely be better. In theory, through the testing program, it will be a safer product to consume. But at the end of the day, money's tight for everybody right now, and people are going to be looking to, secure their cannabis as cheaply as possible.
You know, you said you agree with Kenny that the lawmakers didn't do their job very well. I think Kenny said screwed up. Can you?
Yeah,
what part did they screw up, Stefan?
Everything.
Well, I would say what wasn't screwed up would probably be easier at the end of the day. And I say that knowing that it is extremely difficult to take nothing and then create an industry from that nothing, right?
Sure.
I get that the feat was big. It was a lot of work to get it done. But at the end of the day, the bill itself was written with the intent of helping small business, and the way it was rolled out, it stifles small business. So that's one aspect.
How so?
But I think,
Stefan, let me stop you there. How does it stifle small business?
Cannabis is extremely expensive to operate, to start up. Extremely, extremely expensive. And the way that they've set up this licensing and all these requirements for the licensing, if you don't have access to $500,000 or more, like, this isn't the game for you. So if you are coming in with a social equity license, chances are you went and you got a micro license and you said, you know what, I will then start a retail operation so I can make some money. And then I'll build out my grow, and then I'll build out the rest of my business. Well, because the state chose not to front load cultivation and supply chain, and they started issuing these retail licenses, we have all these stores popping up with no supply chain. Now, they can get their product from the tribes, but the product, first off, isn't as quality as it needs to be for the market. Secondly, the tribes are in a position of power, and they can charge astronomical amounts of money for their subgrade quality product. And these retailers are forced to pay it, or they sit on their lease and not be able to pay rent for the next 6 months until the market supply chain catches up.
Let's back up a second.
It's a tough spot.
Stefan, describe, for those who don't know, micro versus macro. There's two different options if you want to grow and sell, or just grow. Could you describe that for us?
Yeah, so there's several license types within the state's program. Most of what's being talked about are the two variations of vertical license, and that micro license allows you 5,000 square feet of mature plant canopy. It allows you one retail store. It allows you extraction, refinement, and consumer product manufacturing. The meso license is essentially a step above that, which gives you 15,000 square feet of mature flowering canopy, 3 retail stores, and then also that vertical production stuff within it as well.
Okay.
And now there's other more advanced licenses, larger licenses like bulk cultivators or bulk retail, bulk. But at the end of the day, the small business focus, at least from my perspective, has been the meso micro license.
So, Jay, if we were going to start doing this at the CRABBY Coffee Shop, I think we would apply for a micro.
Yes.
And we've got a lot of empty basement space. We'll just make a grow room downstairs, and we'll do And we'll just sell minute, maybe just single rolled cigarettes to our customers.
I'm fine with that. The only problem is I might use it all before I sell it. But
well, hold on there.
Yeah.
And Stefan, can these micro businesses also get a license to use the product on the premises? So you could get a cup of coffee and a doobie?
Yeah, so there's an endorsement available for on-site consumption, an endorsement available for having events or holding events as well. But my understanding is that it's not a constant thing. It's something that has to be applied for in advance of your intended time.
Yeah, and then renewed on a yearly basis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
Jay, do you have anything? I've got a million questions, but I want to let you in here if you have any questions at all.
Well, because I know you had mentioned you'd done a bunch of research over the time, because I was going to let you carry most of that because you got a lot of questions. The only thing I wanted to ask Kenny, I think I've asked Stefan this before in the stories I've done with him. I don't understand why Minnesota couldn't take an example like Michigan, where it seems to me has done a very good job. Why don't you that's your template. Why don't you take what Michigan did and just copy it and get it up and running? Because, Stefan, when I went to Menominee, Michigan, I crossed the bridge from Wisconsin, from Marinette over into Menominee, and there were, I think, at least 6 or 8 dispensaries right on the main drag.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I had choices galore. I had price differential. I had options. And I started talking to, naturally, and as I talk too much, I started talking to the people that were working there, and they explained how they did it and how Michigan did it and how well it's been working. And there's stores everywhere. And then Minnesota, we were told we would have all these options and dispensaries by 2025. We're going into 2026, and we just have a handful, if that. So we're way behind schedule. The taxes are outrageous. Why, Stefan? I don't is that where a mistake was made, where we just didn't copy and paste something like what happened in Michigan?
Well, that's one mistake, Jay,
yeah.
But yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'd say that's a mistake. Yeah. But if you remember last year,
and why wouldn't you start
I said last year we did an interview, and I told you.
Yeah.
Right. And I totally agree. We did that interview last year. I told you we're not going to see any movement in the market until maybe end of Q1 2026.
Wow.
That's when things will start maybe catching a little traction. It's not at all what the state told or promised people.
Nope.
And it's an unfortunate reality. And, my conversations with the state, like they've said this multiple times, there's something within our Constitution that doesn't allow us to just copy and paste, right? And I get that. I get you want to have your own thing and stand on your own laws, but that doesn't mean you can't reword it.
Right.
It doesn't mean you can't use it as a template and a blueprint and move that forward.
Right.
And then their response or rebuttal to that is, these other states had infrastructure in place to allow them to scale into a recreational market. And to some extent, that's truthful. Michigan had their caregiver program and medical, and then they scaled into adult use recreational. So there was some infrastructure that could supply that product to the recreational market.
Okay.
And I'll tell you guys, we pushed hard as stakeholders right after this bill passed to get the state to understand, look, supply chain is going to be a problem. We wrote this bill in a way to ensure that it's no longer criminalized, to give people access, to give veterans like myself affordable access to quality health care at the end of the day. So let's get there. And we need to ensure that supply chain is available. Let's front load. So if everyone who applies for a license gets that pre-approval process, they're allowed to start their process immediately, and then we'll catch up. Right? The state will catch up and finalize these licenses. Yeah. But let's get this product growing as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And I tell you, we got a phone call. I'll never forget this. It was a Friday afternoon at 4:15. I was headed into a family member's wedding, and we get a phone or an email requesting an immediate stakeholders meeting from Charlene Briner, who was the director at the time. Mm-hmm. Now, it's 4:15 on a Friday. The government says it's time to have a stakeholder meeting. Yeah. Got it. This can't be good. Yeah. So she gets us all together on the phone, and and she's like, I just wanted to let you guys all know that we can't approve the early cultivations. And that was the end of it. And then it was never talked about again. And then, the 2 med companies stepped in and said, we'll provide the product. And then the tribe said, we'll provide the product. But the reality is they're functioning businesses. So they may want to provide the product, but they're also going to be in control and selective on how they roll that product out because they've got businesses.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
it's been a mess since the beginning.
One of the things that I thought was really fascinating and maybe pretty stupid was the social equity portion of the applying for licenses. And I say that because and the social equity thing was if you were convicted or you had issues with marijuana laws in the past, or if you fit a certain demographic, you jump to the head of the line. And the reason I had a problem with that is because in my mind, those people, and I know I'm painting with a broad brush here, and I'm sorry if I'm wrong, those people don't have money. They don't have the startup capital to do that. And I started thinking and concocting scenes in my own twisted mind that now, okay, so then are they going to be a front for people who do have money, or are they going to get the license and then sell the license, if it's possible, to bigger corporations? How is that? Am I on track there, or is that completely wrong?
You're not off base, Kenny. You're not off base. I mean, at the end of the day, it's business in America. And it's no different than any other business. Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a gap, it will be exploited. I would say after they rolled out the qualifications for social equity, I think it was something like 70% of the state's population qualified for social equity, right? So, like, how is that really helping anyone?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
and then by constitution, we weren't allowed to not include people from out of state, right? So then we've got out of state people that are applying.
Yeah,
I'm familiar with operations that were out of state backing and saying, hey, we'll cut you $100,000 check once you get licensed.
Yeah.
Like there was all kinds of stuff happening in the background. And at the end of the day, like, you have no choice but to rely on the regulatory agency to be the ones to step up and enforce things. And I'll be the first to admit, guys, like, I'm very familiar with the other side of things before regulation came out, right?
Oh, sure.
And I see this as an opportunity for people such as myself, people that come from that world, to step into a legitimate business, utilize that skill set, make some money, provide for their families, but also offer quality, controlled products to consumers.
Yeah.
And it's totally doable. But at the end of the day, there's not many that have access to the capital that's required to get this done. It's not cheap. It's extremely expensive. And I feel like the way that they rolled this out set people up to get their dreams and hearts crushed and their life savings destroyed.
Okay, I want to tell you about a friend of mine. A friend of mine my age ran a very, very successful business with high-end clients. He was able in the last few years to sell that business, retire, but then he has now become a partner in a cannabis store in one of the suburbs. He was lucky enough, and he currently has a business that's selling the gummies and the other stuff that's legal to sell, right? But he was lucky enough to be chosen in this lottery and granted a dispensary license, but he can't start selling flowers and other products until the state says it's okay, right? Meanwhile, and I just learned this from talking to him, there are medical marijuana dispensaries around the metro in the state that are already selling flowers and other products over the counter to consumers. How is my buddy with his operation supposed to compete against a business also in his suburb that's already selling flowers over the counter? How do you compete with that?
You don't. At the end of the day, your buddy should have paid $40,000 a month to a good consultant or a good lobbyist, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
It all started with the medical providers saying, or the state saying, medical providers, you can only allocate 30% to your current canopy to the adult use market. And then some things happened, and what was written turned into 50% of their canopy can now be allocated for the adult use market. And that was never talked about, discussed beyond the state and those stakeholders,
right?
Which changes the entire dynamic of the industry as it stands now. They were the good old grandfather clause, right? Like, you're already established, you have the infrastructure. So maybe we just let you start selling under the guise that it's going to curve black market consumption or black market purchases. But the reality is it's not. It won't even put a dent in it. Since August of 2023, Minnesota's consumption on the books has doubled. Went from, I think, 800,000 metric tons to 1.4 metric tons a year consumed, right? In 1 year since legalization. Like, it's not going at all how they thought it was. And that's another example how the state that is extremely out of touch with the constituents of the state. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Jay, for instance, with this issue, I Googled earlier today, how many medical cannabis stores are in Minnesota? The AI answer, Minnesota has around 16 physical locations for medical cannabis dispensaries. The main provider, there are two main operators, Green Goods and Rise. So these two companies control all these medical outlets, and not all of them are selling flowers over the counter, but there's a good number that are. So the guys that want to do legitimate business, small businessman, just wants to, have his hands in business and make some money. Before he can even throw the shingle out front and open the doors, he's screwed. He's
already behind the 8 ball. And when I covered the medical marijuana stuff, and I talked to Stefan about this in one of my stories, they set it up this way where there can only be 2 license holders, correct, Stefan? There can only be 2. And before it was Rise, it was something else. What was it called before it was Rise? Leafline?
So it was originally Vireo and Leafline were the 2.
Yeah, and now it's Rise.
Leafline.
And why would we, Kenny, why would we start that? Why in a free marketplace, why do we start with just 2? Who decided just 2 was going to be the answer?
That's the opposite of free market.
That's the opposite of free market. And, and now as we roll into what you're talking about, Kenny, we set up, this is the way, this is what drives me nuts. We could have easily just had the template from a Michigan or pick another state that's had success. And I'm not saying there wouldn't be bums, probably would be, but to me, this has been, and Stefan, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like to this point, and how many directors of the cannabis office have we had? How many interim directors? 3, 4 now? Right? So we can't even get any continuity into who's running it for the state. To me, I would say so far, this program has been an abject failure.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
For the consumer, for the business guy, for investors, everything has been so clouded and so screwed up. And here's another interesting thing, Stefan. I've been told that the tribes will import a lot of their stuff. Is that accurate? Some of their weeds coming from out of state? Not all of it, but some of it?
I don't want to speculate.
Okay.
But I would say that supply chains are supply chains, and they've been well established for a long time.
But look at this, Stefan. It only would stand to reason because we don't have enough supply in Minnesota. Did you not tell me that? Okay. So we're speculating. We're speculating. So if Minnesota doesn't have enough in the supply chain, do the tribes have enough where they can sustain all of their own product? Or at least in the beginning, they had to be bringing it from
their current cultivations? No, absolutely not.
So again, we're speculating. But okay, so they're got to be getting their weed from across the state line. Now that doesn't meet the regulatory requirements, right? We don't know what.
But they're not. But they're not required to meet those regulatory requirements.
So another messed up loop in this, the way it was, the law was written. I think I just want to vent more than anything else today, Stefan.
I'm here for you, man. You can use my shoulder anytime.
And look at, I told Kenny this. I go, I take care of a friend of mine, couple of strokes. She needs the weed. I go up to the dispensary in Duluth. I'm like, I'm only an hour away. I got some doctor appointments up there anyhow. I walked out of there, Stefan. I couldn't believe what an ounce was. A half ounce was over $200 with taxes.
Yeah.
What? Mm-hmm. I go down the street.
Like I said, it's not going to be cheap. It's not. And we're fortunate in the way that we approach things and the way I guide my clients to approach things. It's farming at the end of the day. Margins matter. And your focus should be creating the highest quality crop you can for the lowest input cost you can. That's your baseline. Because at the end of the day, the consumers, they need access to quality, low cost product.
I asked my buddy about this. I asked him why. I'm very curious about the demographics and who would actually pay at a retail store and how much they would pay. And he said, right now, the pricing, it matches what you said, Jay. The pricing on medical cannabis dispensaries is about $100 a quarter. And so, that makes sense.
Yeah.
His demographic seems to be older people who don't have a buddy, or they haven't smoked or partaken, in 20 years. But I think there's so many people growing weed, and I know they're paying a lot less than $100 a quarter. I mean, it's like the old days where you were paying $25 a quarter. That's how cheap it is right now. But you brought up your girlfriend, and during Thanksgiving, I'm sitting around with my family, and these are straight-laced, God-fearing, church-going people, and they have all had gummies. And the gummies, even though if you're a regular user of weed, the gummy is not that powerful. But if you can't sleep,
Correct.
If you have problems getting to sleep, you eat a gummy 45 minutes, an hour before bed, and you actually get the privilege of sleeping 8 hours. It's amazing. And I'll admit it, I've done it because I have a hell of a time getting to sleep. And these things about 3 times a week, I get a full night of sleep, and it's changed my life.
Yes, 100%. Same here. And Kenny, I don't apologize anymore for using weed and eating gummies. You want to know why? It's legal, damn it. So I don't run around and pretend like I don't really smoke a lot of it, to be honest with you. I prefer the gummies. I do, for the reason you talked about.
Yeah.
So, to me, this is something that there's a consumer demand. It's legalized with a consumer demand, and we've done everything within our power to screw it up. Not to mention, Stefan, I want to know how much tax revenue are we missing out on by having it so set up so poorly? It's got to run into the tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Am I right? We lose them?
Yeah, I don't think you can be those.
Might have lost him?
I think we might have lost him.
Maybe have him shut her down and bring him back up?
Stefan, if you can log on or reboot or do something. Meanwhile, Jay, the Minnesota gummies are not powerful. And my next question for Stefan was, is that going to change? Because if you go to Colorado or California, their gummies individually are much more powerful than they are here in Minnesota.
Because I think ours are 5 milligrams.
10.
Well, 10, but I think when I buy it at the dispensary, I get the 10, but I have to cut it in. How does that work?
Yeah, they're 10. They should be. Most of them, they can be less than 10, but they can't be any more than 10.
Right.
Yeah, and same with the drinks, too.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah. So if you're a regular user, you're not eating, and you want to party, you're not eating one gummy. You're taking a handful.
If you want to use it to party, yes.
And the prices are outrageous.
And that's primarily why I told you the other day on the phone. I use it I like to sleep with it. I really do. You take it around 7, 8 o'clock at night, and by 9, 10, you're ready to go nighty-night, and you sleep really well.
Yeah, but that's why you don't take any more than that. You guard them because, I need to get to sleep here. You're not going to be partying with my gummies, you moron, because my sleep is more important than partying. I think we have Stefan back. Are you there, sir? No, we don't.
There we go. I switched from internet to cell phone, so hopefully that works.
Perfect.
That'll work. You're very skinny on your
lost some weight.
Your box is really narrow, but you sound really good.
Yeah, as long as we got you.
So we were just talking about gummies, and what do you see the future of gummies and edibles and drinks? Right now we're at, is it 10 milligrams per? Will that go up?
Yeah, well, the rec market the adult use market is going to allow higher milligrams in those beverages and gummies. So you'll see concentrations on that stuff go up exponentially.
Yeah.
What I've seen in other markets, things like the drinks, it's a novelty of access thing. They were popular in Minnesota because we had nothing else and people could buy them.
Yeah.
But in other markets, you kind of see the demand for those fall off once they have access to cannabis products.
Sure.
So when I go to the dispensary, I was trying to figure this out with Kenny. They give me gummies, and it's weird. Mine come 10 milligrams, but I have to split them in. I have to split them in half because they can only do. So it's like 10 gummies for 50. What's the difference? They can sell them at 5 milligrams or 10, right? But am I right about that? It just can't be more than 10. Is that the whole deal?
Yeah,
That's why I get a weird.
It has to be a 5 milligram. Yeah, a 5 milligram single. Right.
Okay, so they can sell me the 10.
That's the max it can be right now.
Okay, got it.
Oh,
I got it. It can only be 5.
So, right under the low dose rules, right? You had single dose could not be beyond 5 milligrams. So that Caroline essentially was put on the gummy to make a bigger gummy that's more potent. But at least they told you to break it in half. And there was a way for you to break it in half.
That's what I was trying to tell Kenny. That's what I was trying to tell Kenny. They said, hey, if you want a 10 milligram, here you go, but you got to break it in half. Well, I don't do that. I just take the 10. Yeah. But it's still the same as if I took 2 5s, but it's trying to, it's just easier. And it's so stupid.
Yep. Like, it is. It's the rules are insane to me. And I really feel there was a group of us that helped write HF 100, which is what, ultimately led to the adult use bill going forward. And the stakeholders that put that initial bill together, man, like it was solid. It was a solid representation of what the market wanted and what could lead to a flourishing market. And by the time it got to the actual legislatures and some lobbyists got their hands on it, it changed drastically. And this is kind of what we've been left with. But, at the end of the day, like we're here. We'll make it work because businessmen and people that also are passionate about this, we'll figure it out.
What was their reasoning for changing things? And they're given good, solid advice. I don't understand why they didn't take it. Yeah.
I think it came down to, at the end of the day, certain lobbyists have better relationships and they're lobbying for specific entities to make sure that they maintain a stronghold and give themselves some runway. Right?
Yeah.
The bill was initially designed and written to help small businesses in Minnesota succeed into a new market, a new industry. And what came out was a bill that allowed current operations to flourish rapidly while stifling small businesses getting even stood up. Look at the low dose market. Everything that the way they route absolutely destroyed all of the low dose and hemp operators in the state. They're closing up shop left and right. The only ones that are still breathing are the ones that had enough capital in their bank account to withstand this. And that's not many. There's tons of really good hemp operators that had quality product on the low dose side that had to close up shop because of the way the state decided to roll this out. This thing destroyed people very, very quickly.
Wow.
Well,
did the state do anything right?
Yes, yeah, I firmly believe the real win with the passing was the home grow side of things. Giving people the access, the ability to cultivate their own at home was an amazing win for everyone that's a cannabis enthusiast or patient. And I think at the end of the day, no matter how bad the market rollout is, the real win is people being able to take their care of their own wellness into their own hands. And not rely on the state or insurance or anything else to provide that wellness or health for them. So the home grow guys, from my perspective, was for all this, and the rest of it is like, cool, we might be able to do some business and make some money and provide for our families. But at the end of the day, home grow is providing everyone the access they need if they choose to take that path.
And homegrown, Jay, if you wanted to grow your own, it's so easy right now. All you do is go to the internet, and the internet tells you, they'll provide you with every little thing you could possibly think of, from finding a place to do it and the room and the temperature and the lights and the plants and which plants. On and on and on. The internet really helps out. It's not like it was, back in the 80s and 90s.
When it was your closet.
It's pretty easy these days.
Stefan, thanks. We appreciate it.
And just capitalize on that, Kenny. Absolutely. Real quick, just to cap the cost for you to go buy 4 8 from the current market, you spend that money and buy yourself a home that handles everything you need to grow your own cannabis in your basement or in the closet or in a shed at home. So it's very, very cost effective to grow your own product at home safely and as much as you want, or at least up to 2 pounds.
We're all taking notes.
You broke up there, but I think, are you making reference to grow tents where you can just go into a store and buy virtually everything you need to set up an operation? Is that what you're?
Yeah, these tents, these kits for $500 gives you everything you need and the instructions you need to grow. It's so cost effective. It's pretty cheap.
All right.
That's good. Good stuff, Stefan.
Thank you, Stefan.
Well, we'll have you on again.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have
Take
a better connection. Jay, let's take a break, and then you and I need to chat for a minute.
Yes,
we'll be
we
right
do.
back. That was frustrating, Jay.
Yeah, because he had good stuff.
Breaking up, yeah. I was really, like I said, I mean, look at this. Look what I've got here.
I know.
Look at, I got a whole file.
But you know,
I've been saving this stuff ever since they pushed it through.
Awesome. I'm glad you did. We needed it today.
And they've just made mistakes along the way. Every single thing they've done seems like a mistake. And like Stefan was saying, he was breaking up really bad, but it's hurting the small businessman.
Yep.
And the only people that are surviving are people that are putting their life savings into this just to stay close to in the black.
Right. And risking, really.
Yeah.
They're putting it all up, and it's a roll of the dice right now.
Right.
Here's another interesting thing we couldn't even get into with them, Kenny. I'm pretty tight with the medical marijuana guys. Patrick McClellan, just like Stefan, helped write the whole law, the whole 9 yards. He's got MS. Many of the medical people, in the medical patients in the program, now that this law is passed, they're growing their own because they can have up to, what did you say, 2 pounds?
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Four plants. The deal with that is nobody's doing that.
Well,
Nobody's growing 4 plants. Everybody's growing 16 or 32.
Right. And the medical guys are doing this on their own because it's cheaper than going to the dispensary for their meds.
Yeah.
And so that's another ripple to this and layer to it is the medical guys are leaving the medical program and doing their own thing and then helping their buddies out. So. And
the medical thing, I know it's got a bad rap, like especially in California for years and years and years, where everybody all of a sudden has, I got a problem, doc. Wink, wink. It's not like that. I mean, you live, you're caring for somebody who absolutely needs it. And we've heard it for people with cancer, people that have had strokes, and on and on and on. And really, really helps.
It does. And it's usually the oils, and they're taking it in oil form, a lot of them. Yeah, Kenny, it's undeniably, science has proven that the medical doctors will show up and testify at the Capitol. Yeah. But we've now, with this new law, Kenny, to your point, that it's been messed up from day one, this new law that's been messed up from day one also kind of has now messed with the medical part of it. Yeah. And that's sad because so many people need that help, and now who knows what the future is.
What I would do if I had a medical need for this, I would get together with a few other people that have a medical need for this.
Right.
And we could have a grow club, and we'd supply each other. And like you said, if you have enough of it, you don't have to smoke it.
Correct.
You know, come on, who wants to smoke it?
Right.
And I didn't even get into the smoking aspect. I really wanted to ask him about, so the CRABBY Coffee Shop, when we decided to start selling doobies, and we got to come up with a really wacky, funny name for our doobies. Are you saying, and I was going to ask Stefan, so you could twist up one and smoke it in the CRABBY Coffee Shop, but if you smoke a Marlboro, I'm kicking you out?
Yeah, 100%.
Because that's Souchere's big deal. He's going, wait a minute, so you can smoke weed, but you can't smoke cigarettes?
But you'd have to probably most likely to get around any, what the cities and counties have done and no smoking areas. Well, they just extend it to marijuana, right? Yeah. So, but if you get the vape, you can do it. So you could bring a vape in here and smoke weed at the CRABBY Coffee Shop.
I think there's a subsidiary of CRABBY Coffee Shop in Amsterdam, actually, because they have the coffee shops with the pot brownies and everything else. So perhaps we can open an American version of the CRABBY Coffee Shop in the red light district.
Well, remember, we're minimal effort, maximum glory. That sounds like a lot of ambition.
Have you been to the fair lately?
No, I don't. No.
Everywhere you go.
Weed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You get caught in a traffic jam in the Lowry Hill Tunnel in the summer, you're high before you get to the other end. Just a free high. Just pull in here, drive 1 mile an hour. By the time you get out of that tunnel, it's a whole new world.
Well, what did Stefan say? The use has gone up by how much?
Yeah.
In the state of Minnesota?
Because it's illegal now.
Because it's legal.
Yeah.
And thank God it should be. It's the dumbest thing ever, but...
So
the Lowry Hill Tunnel.
Yeah. No, my boss called me with that. He goes, I was stuck in the tunnel the other day. The whole tunnel smelled like weed. Everybody's sitting in there with their cars in park, puffing away.
Road rage is going to go way down.
You would think. You would think. So let's be honest with everybody.
Yeah.
We didn't come up with, or you, we, meaning you, found Stefan and thought about this yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why he was on a video link and not in studio.
Yeah. He said next time he'd come down and join us, Ken.
Yeah. So if we ever talk about it again, we'll have him in studio because I do have a million questions. But you had yourself a hell of a day. And I think you need come sit down on my couch, Jay.
You know what I need is
tell me about your life.
Roll a doobie for me.
I don't have any of that. Tell me about your life, Jay. How's your day going?
It was as effed up as you could imagine this morning.
Is it for the birds?
It's for the birds. Good one, Robbie.
Thank you.
Well, but the thing is, I still have my freedom. Okay, I didn't have a heart attack today, so maybe it's not that bad, but. I don't know, Kenny. Good Lord. You got a truck with 240,000 miles in it. So I had the thermostat go out on it.
Where were you?
Fortunately, believe it or not, I had to do something for TV yesterday. So I knew I was doing the podcast today. And with the storm coming, I stayed at Lindsey Brown's place. Lindsey Brown, Channel 5 anchor.
Yeah.
She's got an in-law apartment across the street from where she lives right over here in Como, over by Fratelloni's.
Yeah.
Well, Ned, who runs the owner, Ned and Paul own, or Ned owns it, and Paul's the chief mechanic. They have a gas station right next door to that apartment complex.
Oh, so you got lucky. You're not allowed to complain about this. No, if that's how lucky you were. Well,
it's okay. There is some luck, but damn, I mean, what
happened?
So they allowed me to park in their parking lot while I stayed at Lindsey Brown's last night to avoid the storm, so I could get here for the podcast. And they said, just leave your keys in it so we can move it. And they moved it, and then it was dead. And what they've discovered was, they're like, hey, when you got out of it last night, was the fan blowing real hard on it? I go, yeah, it was. But then I just ignored it, thinking it would go off, turn off at some point.
Yeah.
He goes, the fan probably kept running to cool your engine because the thermostat's busted. So it was reading it as if the thermostat was busted. It didn't want to overheat. That killed your battery, so your battery's shot, and you need a new thermostat. Yeah. So, okay. No, wait, it gets better. Okay, there is a silver lining. You're right. I was in the goddamn service station parking lot when it happened.
Yeah, and you're so close you could walk to it.
I was 5 steps from it. But okay, so fine. But still, I had things I needed to do today. I couldn't go anywhere. I was stuck in Lindsay's apartment. It's a nice apartment, don't get me wrong. But so then I come back when they're done with it. They go, thermostat, new battery. Oil pump's going, Jay.
No.
Yeah, starting to. So he said, yep. So I went from $600 for the thermostat and Ned and Paul were like, you should probably get a new one. I would drive this one. They said, right now, you're good they said, don't go more than a month or two. Get a new truck.
But you have to, you may as well give up on that thing. You have to drop the pan or lift the engine.
Yep. No,
that's surgery.
That's major surgery. That's like a open heart surgery. Yeah. And with $250,000 on it now, that's no
not
point.
Worth it.
But when you have no payment on it, you're going to run it till it dies.
Isn't it? No payments. I can't say enough for no. I'll drive anything.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, you should have seen. I was battered by a deer. I ran into a post out here in the parking lot.
No, I've seen it. It's embarrassing.
I clipped one of the posts out here in the parking lot. All my red paint's on the post out there. I'll show it to you. It's a
when I
badge of
see
honor.
that car, I get embarrassed.
Mine?
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't be, because I was told in Burnett County, that's a working man's car. That's what I was told. Yeah, we're working man up here. So
if your day
I didn't do any work. I just totaled it,
So if your day isn't bad enough.
So then I find out, okay, yeah, right. So now it's $600 repair. And I'm told, get ready for another car payment. Okay, I hate that. So it starts off bad.
Yeah.
And then 10, 15 minutes before I could tell you, I'm pulling in to come in here.
We tape at 3:00.
Yeah.
at 2:45. We should all be sitting down talking to each other.
Yes.
And I'm like, where's Jay? It's 10:02. Where's Jay? It's 5:02. Where's Jay? It's 1:02. Jay walks in, and his hair is what little hair he has left is on fire.
On fire. Because, I've told you, I have a disabled girlfriend I take care of, so she sends me a text as I pulled in at like 2:40 is when I pulled in.
Yeah.
And I literally 2 minutes outside this door.
Yeah.
And she's trying to communicate as best she can, right?
Yeah.
It's short and not very lot of detail. The picture of a bird on the ground with my dog staring at it, and she goes, "This just flew through our window."
In the house?
Yeah, in the house. I'm sorry, in the house, in my cabin up in the woods. And I'm panicking. I'm what do you mean it flew through the...
What was it, a turkey? It's got to be pretty big.
I'm thinking something big. Yeah. Like what? Yeah. But again, she's had a couple of strokes, so cognitively. So I said, "What do you mean it through?" I said, "You mean it went through the window? Like all the way through, right?" And she writes back, "Yes, all the way through." I go, "Which window?" She tells me which window. I go, Wait, so is there a big hole in where this window was? Yes, there is, Jay, and there's glass everywhere. I'm like, God. Holy shit. What? It's going to be 20 below tonight up there or whatever the hell it's going to be.
Cold AF.
So I can't have a bird fly through my damn window in July.
No.
And if it's going to happen in December, it's going to be with the polar effing vortex.
Yeah, a little bit of cardboard isn't going to keep the cold out.
And listen, I ain't Mr. Fix-It. I've told you I've put a doorknob on upside down one time.
Yeah.
Literally
I don't
down.
doubt that. Yeah.
Okay, that's me. And I own it. I don't give I don't care. I don't know how to fix it. Now a window... I can't put in a window. I don't know what to do.
So did you call Wimpy?
I know Wimpy got my... But I asked her, I said, is Wimpy got... Because I've got 22 inches at my house right now.
Yeah, Wimpy's the plow driver.
Yeah, so Wimpy, my plow driver, he came, he got me all... I'm good. Everything's off my driveway.
Yeah.
But I do have over 20. I got like 22, 23 inches at the house. So I called my buddy Lee Cannell. He's a construction guy. He's a contractor up there. I go, "Lee, I got an emergency. I'm down in the cities doing a podcast with Kenny. I got a blown out window."
He goes,
"Jesus Christ, what?" I go, "Yeah, a bird flew." And he lives in a cabin on Sand Lake. He's 5 minutes from me. He goes, "What do you mean a bird flew through it?" I go, "A bird flew through my window, Lee." Yeah. He goes, "My dad's been up here in this cabin. We've been up here for over 50 years. We never had plenty of birds flew into the window."
Only you.
He goes, but that's what he said. He goes, "But not one through." He goes, "But I believe it happened to you." I go, "Yes, it did." I said, "Lee, if I had any luck at all, would I have, if I didn't have bad luck, would I have any luck at all?" He goes, "No, you really," he goes, I'm going to get over there right now. He goes, "Is Kimberly okay?" I go, "She's fine, but I got to," and I said, "Lee, where do I get a window guy? Who comes and puts in a window up there? I don't even know." He's in construction. He goes, "I don't know. I'm going to have to figure that out for you."
Especially after 3 o'clock
he goes,
on a day where everybody's trying to get plowed out.
And it's going to be 30 below in Burnett County. You think anybody's going to want to work when it's 30 below? Hell no. Hell no. It's not like down here. No, they're going to be like, "Jay, we'll see you next week." So, Kenny, I'm sitting there with a blown out window. You want to know what kind of bird it is? I got a photo of it. I'm eating it when I get home tonight. I'm that mad.
What is it?
A grouse.
No kidding.
How does a grouse go through a window? Seriously.
How? I think.
How?
I can tell you.
Huh?
I can tell you how. It sees the reflection of what's behind it.
Okay.
And thinks he's just going to keep flying into this nice wilderness.
But
how it breaks the window, I don't know.
That's my question. Is how does a grouse that big break through? It didn't crack my window.
It's the size of a Nerf football.
Yeah, right. Blew through the window. There's no window in my house right now.
That thing had a head of steam up.
Son of a biscuit, man. Son of a biscuit.
When I was a kid, I had a grouse that would walk up to my bedroom window and peck at it.
Okay.
And I think he thought he was fighting himself.
Yeah, I've seen that. Listen, you know what else has happened in my cabin? So I get that. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
I'm upstairs. I got a downstairs finished basement and a sliding glass door that goes out, right?
Yeah.
Typical.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I hear this. And I'm like, doing one of these going, "Where's that coming from?" I turned to Kimberly. That's a lot of help sometimes, right? She goes, "I don't know, but I hear it too." I go, "I think that's downstairs." I said, "Usually we hear the woodpeckers on the wall or whatever on the outside." I go, "But what's that?" I said, "It sounds like it's hitting glass down there."
Yeah.
I said, "I wonder what's down. Like it's wintertime. There's no bear."
Something in a window well?
We don't have a window well. So I go down the steps and there's 5 turkeys, gigantic turkeys. And one lead turkey just pounding away at my sliding glass door with his beak. Just pound, bam, 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 trying to get through my sliding glass door. I charged that window.
It's cold out here,
I think I was in my tighty whities, and I charged that glass window and said, "You MFers, get out of here!" Chased him all the way. But he was pounding so hard, Kenny. I did think to myself, can he break that thing and get in? I don't know. I doubt it. But now that a grouse went through my window, Ken, why couldn't a turkey peck out my sliding glass door?
I have a firearm at every door and every window that opens, and I've got a lot of trespassers up here.
Oh, you really?
Yeah, and they're all four-legged, or they have wings. They all want to mess with old Kenny.
Do you just settle that dispute right there?
The pheasants. I have educated the pheasants to the point where I have these old Anderson windows that you crank out.
Yep.
And they've got the lever lock.
Yeah, that's what I've got. Yep, same thing.
The pheasants, the pheasant could be 50 yards away, and I click that lock to unlock, they fly away. They don't even see me. They just hear it. They know, oh, hell is coming. We got to get out of here.
The executioner, the Grim Reaper's here.
Yeah. Well, so you got to train these things.
I've got to train them. Yeah. So, Kenny, I've had plenty of birds since I've lived up there fly into the windows and die. In my whole life, I said to my buddy Lee, who's lived up there way longer than I said, have you ever had birds go through you? He goes, Jay, you're the first person I've known up here that's had a bird go through the window and break the glass.
Can I put a positive spin on this before we go for you?
Yeah.
Let me put a positive spin on this.
Is there one?
Yeah. There's no more grouse here. Where I live, west of Alexandria,
really?
Douglas County, angriest county in the state. We don't like you. Don't come here. There's no more grouse. And we used to hunt grouse all the time. Huh. So that's a good sign. You have grouse there.
We have a lot of grouse, actually.
Number two, you know what you're going to have for supper tonight because grouse tastes so good. Grouse and pheasant. Oh, my Lord.
Two favorites.
So good.
I like grouse better than pheasant.
Yeah.
So I was so angry. I told Lee, I said, Lee, make sure that thing stays right on that counter. I said, if you will do me a favor, grab it by its feet, yank its breasts out and clean it up for me. Lee said, I might clean it out for you. What?
That's the third positive thing. Grouse and pheasant, the easiest bird to clean.
Yeah. Just put your feet on their wings and take their feet and then yank the breast right out, man. That's
so
what
I have a feeling
I'm doing
you're
it tonight. I'm eating that son of a biscuit. I don't know. What is that going to cost me now? I said $600 for the damn truck this morning, plus the headache and the and I told I got to go get a new truck. What is it? What is a new window? Like it's got to be 4 feet by this cabin. When they built it, they did it right. There's windows everywhere. This is not a small window, like a bedroom window. It's like out here. What's that going to cost me?
I think you should stop at a dispensary on the way home.
I have some gummies in the truck, actually.
Robbie, you got that closed music ready? Let's get out of here.
I gotta go, guys.
Jay, have a good day.
Yeah,
have a good evening.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll come up with something for next week. Sorry about our video connection today.
Yeah, it's luck of the draw.
Yeah.
But he was good. He was good.
Yeah, he was really good. Thank you anyway for listening to the Crabby Coffee Show.
Yeah. Take care. See you next week. Peace.